what is your favorite and worst memory from trail? So this is also a two-part question. Favorite and
Oh,
worst.
so worst memory on trail. I don't know. There was a rock slide we had to go over in the beginning, like right before Idlewild. That was kind of sketchy. Like it happened earlier that spring, and the way around it was a rock climber put like this very tiny like rope around it, and your first step is 3 feet down onto like this ledge that's very questionable. And so I don't have a fear of heights, but I was definitely uncomfortable in that situation. So that one was kind of scary because I was like, I'm gonna fall off a cliff because like you step 3 foot down and then it's just like a straight drop. And I was like, I don't like this at all. Um, I probably have worse days than that one. There are a couple of days where Darko and I kind of got yuppie with each other that were definitely not my favorite. Because like it was the person who I hiked over 1,300 miles with, and like if you're both not happy, then it's not fun when you're in camp. Um, favorite memories. I have a couple of them. One of my absolute favorite trail memories like didn't happen while on trail, like it was in town. I told you this one.
Okay,
It was
yes.
when we were at the Etna Brewing Co. and the whole bar was watching The Sandlot. And it was the scene where they're at the pool and the guy like fakes drowning to like kiss the hot lifeguard. And the whole bar was like quoting that scene. And so that was like one of my favorite in town moments. But my like overall favorite trail moments were definitely the ones in Washington where we like slowed down and we're taking like slower days and like taking more breaks like to fully enjoy it like as a tramily, and then like our own personal journeys, and then obviously getting to Canada. uh, Getting to Canada was like such a weird feeling for me. Like if you watch my TikToks, I feel like when I first show up I was like, cool, Canada. Like I was like thrilled to be there, but also not. Like it like didn't fully hit home to me that I just hiked 2,600 miles. But those are some of my favorite and least favorite moments.
Nice. Yeah, mentioning the getting to Canada or the northern terminus or whatever. I found that to be true with a lot of people who
Yeah,
were at the northern terminus. Did you go all the way to the terminus
yeah, we
then?
went all the way.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I was there with kind of a lot of hikers the day I happened to finish. And it was just kind of like, oh, cool. Let's take some
yeah,
photos and then we'll be on our way. It wasn't like this,
yeah,
momentous thing like I thought.
yeah. It's
It
not the thing
was,
you think is gonna happen. Like as
no.
much as like people like put in their videos like how great it is and stuff, like you're not gonna have that feeling. Like you might, like I definitely saw some people who like absolutely broke down at the terminus. But when I got there, all I like worried about was like I want my train lead to be here with me. Like it
Yeah.
sucks that I made it here first. Also,
Mm,
like some of the other people there is like you don't know who they are and they're like trying to enjoy their moment and you want to enjoy your moment without like ruining it for each other.
right.
But yeah, it was a very bittersweet moment. I think the reason we didn't like fully enjoy it was because we knew we had to hike 30 miles back out.
Right.
It was like, cool, we got to see like the like final part of the race, and then we get to like see it on the way back.
Right.
But it was nice because on the way back, like all the hikers you got to see, like you experience the end, and you get to see these hikers right before it, and you get to like reminisce on that feeling. And so it's like even more bittersweet, being like, "Congrats, you got this! Like you're making it! Like it's 30 miles, right?" But also a lot can happen in that 30 miles.
Right.
Like
Hmm.
some of the stories we heard within that 30 miles were absolutely just insane to us. But
Mm. With like the
it's
cold and that sort of thing?
so, well, it was cold. Everyone's like emotions were all over the place. Like some people couldn't make it because of fires. One guy right before the end, he is an honorary part of our family known as Destiny's Child. He fell down a cliff. So, um,
Oh,
like the last like real mountain range that you take, like when you dip down super low and you have to go up. I don't
Yes.
know if it was there, but there's like a cut across like through all the Sheila and stuff.
Huh. Okay. I
Yeah,
guess I
it's
didn't
it's
notice
very
that.
faint. Like if you look at it, it looks like it goes halfway and then it like stops. Well, one of the
Okay.
hikers this year like was gonna take that shortcut instead of like dropping down and going back up like the whole 2 miles, and he
Okay.
fell 50 feet and like cut his whole leg up and stuff, and he didn't even get a touch terminus, and he was like 15 miles away, and so it's just like
Oh,
hard. Like I felt really bad for him and stuff.
that's awful.
But it was also
Yeah.
kind of bad because none of us knew where he disappeared to. Like he
Right.
just disappeared, and it's like a 30-mile stretch, and there's like 200 hikers looking for this person, and nobody knew where he was.
Oh,
And so it was just kind of crazy for us.
right. Oh, yeah. That's lots of emotions, I'm
Oh
sure,
yeah.
that came with that. You know,
Oh yeah.
did he have like a spot device or anything like that? The
No.
Garmin?
So he was one of those crazy through hikers who was like, if I get lost, I get lost. I'm gonna enjoy it for what it is, kind of thing. Like
Okay.
he kind of being super traditional with it, being like, I'm out here for the experience, like I'm gonna die out here kind of mindset, while
Okay.
also being super safe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But
Got it. Well, I'm glad he was okay, but
yeah,
awful that he
yeah.
didn't make it, you know,
Oh,
whatever the 30, 15 more miles.
yeah. Well, so like it just kind of puts in perspective, like you can make it up to the end and still not make it. Like you could make it
Right.
like 5 feet from the end and like not make it.
Have
Like
to be
it,
helicoptered out or something, you know?
yeah, yeah, something crazy like that. Like it's just
Hmm.
like mind-boggling to me that like it still happens that close to that.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're glad you made it.
Oh, I think about that a lot. I think about how like this being like a first time like through hike for me, like no prior experience, like no gear experience at all, and I made it to the end. And I just think about all the people who I met along the way who didn't make it and just like how bad I felt for them. And then I
Yeah.
think about how lucky I was that I got that experience and to make it.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah, because what's the percentage? Like 30 or 40%?
Yeah,
30?
it's like
30?
I think it's 35. Like it's definitely
Okay.
going up, but it's still super low. And
Right.
that's even with 2 years being considered like COVID
Right.
and stuff. Like when I started around my start date, only 50% of permits were starting. But like towards the end of the like starting season, it was like back to the full 50. But there's like a significant drop in like hikers. So
Right.
this year we might see a higher percentage of finishing rates, but still it's going to be pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're one of them, shooter. You did it.
No.